hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in hell. Give us this day our day to sin, and allow us to trespass upon others as others trespass upon us. In your name, let it be done.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But necessarily my truth might not be everyone else's truth. So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
If some of these platforms, because there's many channels here, and a lot of them actually do, if people were honest when they're coming onto panels or chat, if they don't want to be honest with themselves, they want to tear down other people to disguise themselves. So what I get from that is people are insecure by using a false sense of security to mask it. They're not actually, they actually ever challenge themselves. What would that look like? Of course, they'll be picking up, well, what about you? I said, there you go again. You're deflecting at that point. It's about you. If it's always about you, then make it about you. Be the best me can be then. Be the most selfish person you can be. So my question would be, then why are you living with the rest of us?
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
So what's truth? You know? I say my truth or truth, but like I said, my truth might not be someone else's truth. Then I start to question, so what's truth? A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
We don't consider each other. That's why most people are not rationally selfish. They're too busy being fucking selfish.
A lot of these elders need to hear the truth, man. It might not be what you want to hear. You need to be told what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Because it doesn't serve them to, what, I'm going to sit there and hear them say, okay, so should I tell them that they're caught up in their own world? I'm just going to replace myself. Axis, you can take over for a while. It's your shift.
Hello, friends and enemies of YouTube, children of the metaverse, all the digital drug addicts. This is the Pentacle of evil. Yes. Profoundly, there are 5 points of contact in the exchange of prophetic information in the school of esoterics and secret societies. These 5 points of contact are references to full interactive exchange. Also within the same construct is the geometry, where the eye of a human perceives things in 2 dimensions, and you have to train the mind to see things in a potential state of 3 dimension in full spectrum. Thus, the comprehension of the 4th dimension, seeing the entire state of the geometrical shape from all angles at once, which is another state of mind you have to train yourself to be able to see. If you can relax your eyes, the image will come out of the picture clearly. There were 5 prophetic and profound things that transpired, and the reason I did a 12-hour stream. Actually, it wasn't 12 hours. I ended it on a really profound timestamp. 5150, California Code for the Criminally Insane. Because a lot of you would agree with that. But irregardless, the prophetic. Hold on, we have a comment in the comment section, and I've got a real serious hard on for kicking, blocking, and banning tonight. I truly do. Oh, yeah, Austin. It is a new moon to a new moon ritual. It's a 28-day ritual. It's blood magic. And I'm about to describe some of the profound geometry and an esoteric manner that was unseen and unnoticed yesterday during a 12-hour revealing stream. And I'm very interested and to see if anybody got those 5 times missed. Because the station of geometry within a pentagram in full spectrum, being 4th-dimensional or 3-dimensional state, spherical, with the geometry of the golden section, a derivative of mathematics that is repetitive within itself continually, fractally, is a very sacred tool for utilizing the mind and measurement. It is also within the construct and the mathematics of this creation. If I die today, do you think all your fake ritual stuff will matter when you no longer exist? I don't really give a fuck. Because if I'm not here, why would it matter to me? Truly. Do you think I'm here to make some profound impact on you? I'm not. You are my entertainment. Now, Mr. Murphy, I'm going to ask you, did you do your research on what my endeavors are? Especially since the platform changed? And did you catch the 5 principles that no one seemed to have caught yesterday? It passed by you like the air, unseen, but the effects were felt and measured. And no, I could really give a shit less if I'm not here. What I leave behind is for someone of, I guess, an endeavor to know what I was into. Other than that, it doesn't fucking matter to me. I moved on. Really, dude. Are you that bound and tied to this plane of existence that everything has to hold some relevancy to a person's design of ego or expression? This is just information, brother. This is total retribution. Did that answer your question, or do I need to continue further? I didn't think so. Anyhow, these 5 principal points within a 3-dimensional state are spherical. The geometry of the pentagram itself, not only holding divine proportion and the golden section, when you look at it in the 3-dimensional perspective and not a 2-dimensional perspective, it takes on a whole new dimension. And when you look at it in a 4th-dimensional perspective, which is relevancy to the aspect of observing all potential sides, points, and relevant perspectives of that particular structure, you will find that there is neither an upside down or a right side up, or anything that is casually associated with the pentagram. It is a tool that helps structure the geometry of the mind that is utilized within nature itself. And because the human species has been dumbed down to the point where they see things in 2 dimensions and they can't think beyond that generally, they don't see the 3rd dimensional possibility of a full state of a platonic solid, or the whole state of the full observation of that geometry. Now, I'm going to give anyone watching a chance just to see if any of you were truly paying attention, because you were subjected to something and you didn't even catch it. But I can prove that it happened, and I can prove you were affected. Yesterday was a quite an intriguing endeavor. So, the chat is definitely open. The link is there if you would like to come up and express your observations. But I don't think that any of you quite have the capacity to understand what transpired. As profoundly intelligent as you make yourselves seem to be, I'm not claiming that I am of anything beyond just a layman, just a passive bit of information, irrelevant. Well, you would think with as many views that these dopamine addicts, these digital drug addicts, gave the attention to yesterday's stream, I thought surely, profoundly, out of at least 330 people, somebody would have caught it. at least one of the five. Obviously, not a fucking one of you did. That's good. That means I managed to pull it off unnoticed. Completely ran it by all you big-minded motherfuckers. I am small cheese in a big world, but I have a profound acquired taste. And you guys dwindle away. What are you waiting for? Some profound revealing, maybe a dead body that I've drug around with me, or maybe a sacred pre-creation stone that was handed to me right after my bout with Narcan, Lucifer, and a gift that he gave me that I share. Um, why? Obviously, the music went completely past you, but I did leave prints and traces. The Pentacle itself, being fractalized in sacred geometry, is not only a repeating state of potential, such as octaves, frequencies, resonance, and the ability to utilize a part of the language of creation. Can one of you big-minded YouTube fucking scholars at least throw in the chat some type of relevancy to that? Or have you not quite developed that yet? See, I don't know who this person is, unless I've just totally forgotten them because of insignificance. I don't know. We'll find out, right? And by the way, Cowley, if you're out there, I need my muse. Truly do.
Hello? Hello, Axis?
Yeah, that's
Hello?
generally what they call me.
Yeah, I've been watching your channel for a few months, and I just wanted to say it was very scary what happened yesterday.
Good. I hope it terrified the fucking shit out of you, you faithless fuck.
Is it true your son is a murderous scumbag fuck? Is it true that you're okay with your son murdering people? Is it true
Hey,
that you're a piece of shit cupcake? Is it true?
I don't give a goddamn who my son murders, because he's not around anymore to murder anyone. And Snafu, go to hell, truly, before I send you there. You understand me, little boy? Because my next blood rite and ritual may contain your name. You're not welcomed at my channel. You're not welcomed here at all. You are a disruptor and a small-minded, low-level, undeveloped, species-minded human. And I don't have much respect for the human race. And is my son a murderer? He's not now, but he is. And the fact that someone will bring that up shows that they have no contextual broad manner of thinking to resort to such a low level endeavor to demean my character. I'll demean my own character. Like I said, I don't care who my son murdered at all. And if you think that's evil with the family start, then go present your case to the world that everyone who has been murdered and those who had murdered them fall to your idealistic concept of justice, right, wrong, and petition yourself to be a representative and an ambassador for a God that does not exist for you. Such a low level perception. And obviously, I'm going to reveal the 5 principles that everybody fucking missed. And then I'm just going to make fun of you for the rest of the fucking night. If I decide to even stay on here and tolerate you. You truly are disappointing. Let's see what this has to say. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, well, what a horrible thing. Truly horrible. That right there just put you all in a position to let me know that what I'm about to reveal to you brings joy to my heart, and that you are such low level, pathetic fucks that I was able to manipulate you, redirect you. I changed your cerebral state. I announced it. You don't even understand the structure of my endeavor into this. You are the mindless. And the next person that enters my back channel will be banned. So if you push that fucking link, you better pray to God, your God, because my God has no use for you, nor do I. I'd like to wait until there was at least enough people in here that I might be able to get a coherent response. But because of the pieces of shit that you are and the low level existence that you've brought to the metaverse, which could have been a wonderful endeavoring frontier of sharing, understanding, almost as if it was a depository like the Library of Alexandria. But no, you bring your profanity, your offensiveness, your lack of understanding and comprehension, your safety protocols, and your indoctrination. That's why you have the world you live in. And that's what you're bringing to this new frontier. And that's why I'm going to poison your minds, just as I did yesterday. and you're not even going to realize it happened. But I am going to reveal it to you to show you how much of a victim I made you and how susceptible you are. You know, if you can't cam up, I'm going to ban you right now. Really? Okay. First principle. I really wish there was more of you here because I really don't feel like fucking you low-minded motherfuckers, you unintelligent dregs, you pathetic, faceless subspecies. But if you are truly back, then you will cam because I've seen you before back. I thought, good riddance. First rule of understanding the geometry and structure of the mind when the eyes are relaxed and you can take in the whole picture was the people who came here whenever I presented myself in a least, I suppose, acceptable way. Um, all the platitudes and the $5 friends that would show up here for the pleasantries of the exchange of information. And I knew the whole time that these exchanges were going on. And I was watching to see what their intent was. And they came for the niceties. But I knew the minute I said the proper thing to each one of them, they would remove themselves because at the point I'd done that, I knew that there was only 3 of you who had the potential to endeavor into this type of darkness and not being succumb to it or cause me disruption by your lack of faith and fear to tread such places. You are the faithless. You are the offended. You are the unintelligent. So I offended these people who delivered warm platitudes into my chat so that they would not disrupt themselves or my endeavors with their inability to tread into the darkest and deepest dust of the blackest hells. So that's where you will find certain personifications, the violator, the yeah, well, that's nice. I'm really happy for you. Um, I'm sure he told you to go fuck off whenever you contacted him, and you know, you're low level fucking pathetic, redundant bullshit. It's just sad, dude. You give Indians a very bad name, And now that you understand, since our first encounter, that I am quite adept in understanding in the Hindu culture, and that I am a Shivite and a Naga and a practitioner of serpent wisdom, you are a pathetic representation of a very profound culture. And I enjoy saying that to your low level, lack of intelligence, prison rape, immunodeficiency disease contracted ass. Don't make me play the fucking song, Snafu. I know where you got your fucking disease because I've got you saying it. And it's on a particular song about the ascetic warrior and truthers gone gay. And it had Nachikita and some degenerate, idealistic bisexual who obviously was attracted to Nachikita. And Nachikita addressed you, and you gave up the information. You contracted the butt flu in prison, immunodeficiency, and you want to stand morally correct and try and judge me. I am the fucking motherfucker, and I feel no sympathy for you, nor anyone else, except for maybe two or three. Ah, really? Well, that's strange because I know better than that. See, what you don't understand, you little bitch, is I stay in constant contact with my case manager. And if metaphysical interactions are prosecutable, then we're going to have witch trials all over again. So you bring that up, and let's endeavor into the fact that my case manager is quite aware of the level of metaphysics that I'm into. He also knows my history, and he also is quite aware of my endeavors. So you failed yourself by lying. You are a deceiver and a false representation of anything of validation. And once again, like I said, I have an incredible fucking hard on for banning, removing, and deleting tonight. You're just here to try and get some content, you pathetic, low-level, bottom-feeding bitch, and you disgraceful representation for your speaking. See, you're my entertainment, motherfucker. And if you ever endeavor to profoundly intrude on my right, constitutional right, to practice my chosen belief system and religion, and you infringe upon my metaphysical endeavors, which is an extension of my artistic endeavors and my spiritual endeavors, then you are stepping on some serious fucking violations of my constitutional rights. And on that, you're going to find yourself in a situation with me and my case manager that you're not going to want to be in, but I would love to see you in. I want you in that position. I want you to keep running your mouth. I want you to endeavor further, and I want to consume you, just like a carnivorous plant attracting a pathetic insect with nectar. All I have to do is say trigger word, and you will come for the content, and you will try and spread this information as if you profoundly created it. No, you stupid fuck. This has all been engineered by me. This is my entertainment. This is my endeavor into an understanding of my religious and spiritual beliefs and concepts. So please continue, because I want your fucking disgraceful ass right in the center of the nectar while I close the fucking walls in on you. You sorry piece of shit, low-minded fuck. But I've given you enough energy. As a matter of fact, I've given all of you entirely too much fucking energy. You are so far less than entertaining at this point. So I will entertain myself with you by allowing you to know that you were violated 5 times over and you did not catch it. And you were subjected and infiltrated, and you responded exactly how you should have with what you were subjected to. And that, to me, solidifies my endeavors into being able to cerebrally take you wherever the fuck I want to and change your mental processes. Just like Black Sabbath, when they tune down to get that dark, deep sound, will intensify that by the power of 10. The same concept. And I even told you, but we'll get back to the 5 principal cores of what you fucking missed. First, I had to get rid of all the platituders that come into the chat and would drop wonderful comments of support and try and enlighten my endeavor and their endeavor with some profound sense of, I don't know, higher conscious thinking, broader spectrum minded thinking. But I knew immediately by the nature of these people that they couldn't travel, nor could they go with any type of confidence into the depths of darkness and depravity that I can tread unaffected. And I did not want to put them in harm's way. So I was able to easily offend them. And they responded very quickly as I wanted them to. And don't take it personal. It's just that you're not prepared by any shapes of the mean to tread safely where I endeavor and flourish unaffected. So I don't want you back here. Your false platitudes, your $5 friendships that probably aren't even that monetarily significant by word or energy or other process. Thus, you could not venture with me on this journey, nor would I take you on it, because you would have endangered my endeavor. And I'm talking Fools and Tools, Pam, you know. Sorry about the rest of you. Those are two that really stick out because they were very supportive. And as far as the freak goes, I truly believe that he might have been able to have withstood some of this, but eventually, profoundly, he would have started questioning himself. And when you're endeavoring into this type of arena, there is no room to question. There is only perseverance. And Kali, I believe that you could have tread truly into the darkest depths with me, which is profound because it seems that female energy is capable of darkness that is equivalent and may even surpass what I'm capable of enduring, being unaffected. And Zypher, you have a balance that you try to keep. And when you're in the world of the unbalanced and you are taking on the full extreme of one particular all-encompassing aspect, you have to understand the state of imbalance that we're in and the coherency and relevancy of that. And it's written within the heavenly bodies and the planetary alignment, which are out of balance to the Earth's equilibrium. Thus, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your non-judgmental interaction with me, and you are welcomed here at any time. The other person that I believe might have been able to endeavor would have been my surrogate dad, who probably not only would have endeavored, but would have surpassed me and walked through this with a lot less interaction, because he generally gets straight to the point without you even knowing. And with that, that was my first course of action when the violation took place. Secondly, was exposing the violator, because if you're going to achieve some type of revelation about a person and you want them to expose themselves, then you bait them, just like Snafu is baited to content and confusion to empower his weakened state and the horrible memories he must suffer from being violated and infected with the butt flu. I don't give a fuck if Steven is in the next room. He is so insignificant to this process that he holds no relevancy. And the fact that you even come to my fucking chat and mention his name to try and associate him with me or my channel, you can go the fuck away. You're interrupting me and it's starting to piss me off. And tonight is really goddamn not the night to fucking piss me off. Because I still have blood magic to do. And I still have the 5 principal points that you stupid fuckers didn't catch. Because your minds think in 2 dimensions. It's only because you use your eyes to see things and not your mind. You have no thought form. And I'm sure your internal dialogue is all ego, self-personification, which makes you more of a threat and an evil potential than I would ever dream of being. But like I said, I share a throne with Lucifer, and he loves me like a son. Now, once we were able to bait and document the individual who violated originally my trust, it was followed through by 3 others who continued that endeavor, who have stained and sustained themselves away from any type of blame. They don't come here. But at least Cage is stupid enough to endeavor onto my platform. And I baited him in, and he revealed himself for what he is. And I went back and checked the live stream from yesterday and several other highlights from my dark endeavors. And it turns out that Cage Reality is not only a deceiver, but a confirmed fucking liar. And if you have issue or problem with that, then either you are a confirmed fucking liar or you haven't done the research, which I wouldn't expect out of a bunch of low-level thinking primates, semi-evolved, bipedal subspecies. Once we identified the intrusion and the breach of trust and the lack of respect for me requesting that he not violate my trust in him. And the 3 others that are involved in this particular blood ritual, well, they've stayed quite removed from this channel. These boisterous trolls who arrogantly go around personifying themselves with their arrogance, only revealing their extreme lack of true perseverance and their true weakness. They are unsubstantial, but they are nonetheless guilty in the endeavor. That is why I named them in this blood ritual. The other principal concept was whenever one cannot defend himself and one looks to impress with someone else who is far from impressive and violates the sanctity of me being entertained, and they try and drown me out with their over personification. I told all of you during the interaction when Cage brought his unrecognized by paradox, torment, and I couldn't even find relevancy to him with the counter group that the Tango belongs to, and definitely no one from Torment has ever heard of this guy, nor do they even have any relevancy to him. So I don't know what that was about, other than Cage trying to project some sense of association with someone who he considers to be profoundly educated and, I guess, prompting. Prompting is just a suggestive potential state, and this is only as good as the information you feed it. And the result that you will get is only as good as the potential it can recognize from the prompt. But now we are 2 days into sentient AI. It passed the Turing test, which makes you all completely obsolete. But I did say during the exchange between Cage and his intrusive friend who overemphasized themselves that I was about to subject you all to subsonic frequencies. And if you don't believe that, you can go back and observe that part from last night's cast, the live stream. And thus, when I amplified those subsonic frequencies, I realized that none of you had water filtered speakers because the madness began. And it continued. And I didn't back off for the frequency until I started playing music to slow the roll so that I could at least get a word in without the intrusion. And the level of stupidity and control that was administered was reflected in the hostility and in your reaction. And if you don't believe that, and go back to the point where I said you are now being subjected to subsonic frequency. And the whole fucking demeanor of my platform changed to a very disruptive, exposing, and agitated state. For those of you who claim you are not affected by such things, I solidified it, and you missed it. It went by you so totally unnoticed. But the effect, as I sat back entertaining myself watching you being affected, was completely entertaining. You don't know who you're fucking with yet. Now, we'll take it a step further. You want to crusade as ambassadors for some type of righteousness that you don't have. And each culture, from Hinduism to the changing of the seasons, to the Abrahamic religions, to Judo-Christianity, to westernized doctrine of many different confusing people trying to figure out which church is right. Because I can damn well guarantee that none of you are. See, what you miss is the principle of confusion. And as long as you are confused and misled, and you believe that you hold the profound truth, lets me know that you're a slave and somebody else is controlling your ever thought and endeavor, which has been displayed since the moment I started this stream. You are the indoctrinated. Your mind is imprisoned. You are not liberated. And you wouldn't know when you were being attacked by the principalities of the air, and your cerebral state is being manipulated. Except two people who are profoundly unaffected, which tells me that these two individuals are not concentrating on their own agenda and perspective, because that's one of the energies that frequency interacts with, polarity. They were in a neutral passive state. And that would have been Zephyr and Jared Jaguar. They were totally unaffected by the frequencies. But they got to watch everyone else in a state of total cerebral manipulation. Just as if though you were listening to a song that not only put you in a mood, but was to able states of mind that gave me variable control to your temperament and to your mood. You are all pathetically weak, especially since I announced it. But because of the arrogance that was being displayed in massive over talking of information that was very valuable to you, to allow you to know that I was using subsonic frequencies, Cage and his buddy drowned it out. But you can definitely clearly hear me say, you are now going to be subjected to subsonic frequency. And it was a warning. Now, for you profoundly, fucking incredibly intelligent, unaffected, immune people who claim that you have some type of defensive mechanism by divine or some manipulated genetic state, you're wrong. And as you were misdirected by Cage and his buddy, just like a true assassin in a metaphysical sense, I infiltrated your mind. Just like psychedelic music changed an entire culture. You are programmable, and all you need is frequency, vibration, and it creates the cerebral energy of the desired frequency setting. So there you go. That is the third point. That is the third point of the aspect which you probably can't even comprehend. The fourth was the draw. You were baited here. All I have to do is what I do naturally. And when I personify it openly, you dopamine addicted digital drug addicts come to lap it up as if you were fecal philiac eating shit from someone's ass. So you could spread it around, try and make content for yourself because you have no true value. You have nothing to offer except regurgitating someone else's endeavors and experiences that you will not ever be able to endeavor in. So I set your safety protocols and I baited you. And you come crawling like starving fucking drug addicts looking for that next cerebral dopamine hit. And that's how it was easy to drag you into my nightmare and subliminally place into you an image, a thought form. Oh my. We have the profoundly ignorant and stupid. You were timed out. Yeah, I can fucking see you. That's none of your fucking business. I said it. You missed it. Tough shit. I don't repeat myself anymore. You're my entertainment. I'm not yours. I thought it was fucking wonderful that these two individuals were able to be unaffected, where the rest of you fell victim. Yeah, that's the moon to moon 28-day cycle blood ritual that I'm performing, which we will get to. I don't give a fuck if it's too long for you or not. If you don't have the attention span, then go the fuck away. Really. Because this is my endeavor, not yours. And that's why I didn't bring people who generally gave me wonderful tidings and platitudes in my chat and would come on panel and interact with me in a pleasant way. I knew they could not handle this type of darkness and persevere through it without being affected. So I had to sacrifice them and any interaction with them because they were a threat and a danger to my endeavors into this level of darkness, to reveal and expose your weaknesses and your susceptibility. They would not have been able to endeavor into it. But there is a couple, like I said, that I believe truly would be able to handle removing all safety protocol and endeavoring into the darkest depths, the recesses, the hellish state of the confused, the misguided, and those who think they have solidified themselves without a foundation and a cornerstone. So thus I exposed it. And I was even pleasant with my interaction. I was pleasant so it would expose itself with a witness. And the witness was observing and documenting the whole interaction to solidify that what was being done and said was relevant and factual. And it's not for you, it's not for anyone else, but for me and that particular witness to solidify an agreement that we've both seen the same thing. And it was repeatable. But you missed that too. And then I gave you your candy, your wonderful treat, revealing my esoteric treasures and my little. Are you serious? I am speaking, and you are trying to engage me in a chat. You can wait your fucking turn. And you better hope you're profoundly intelligent enough to interact with, or I will fucking remove you. I am not here for you. This is retribution. Righteous anger distributed with justice. And then upon my endeavors into the musical interlude, where in between these particular songs, I gave dialogue to explain to you how you've been deceived by the violators, the reason that all this began, and how they are managing to capitalize on you. And you are so sorry fucking eat up with the illusion and the addiction that I imagine 99% of you will fall victim, just as you did to me. You think in two dimensions because that's what your eyes show you. But anyone with true capacity to understand the geometry behind the language of creation doesn't use their eye to interpret dimensions, proportions. They use the mind, the most dangerous weapon on the face of the earth. And for the rest of you who don't quite comprehend where you're at, you are in God's garbage dump. And the Lord of this world is the adversary who works in the same system and mechanics as the full function of the universe. That is why you are so easily deceived. And I will demonstrate this with the fact that with those particular ideals of Abrahamic religion especially, you have created so many divisional denominations and practices all the way to the absolutely fucking satirical. And you devote yourselves thinking that you have found some type of profound truth. And what you have found was manuscript that was written under the direction of the Roman Empire. And it is the only empire that is still standing to this day. And if any of you had the common sense of an inbred, deformed dog, you would understand the mechanics of a kingdom divided cannot stand. And you cannot give something that you do not own. And by the air, the power, the frequency, vibration, and energy is a dominating, governing prince that infects your mind, body, your biofield. And I also work with that technology. Now, with this state of what you fucking missed, you fucking overly arrogant, self-personifying, delusional fucks who were so easily manipulated and subjected to my will and my entertainment, have been victimized by proxy for the actions of violation. The final one is now that the violator has been exposed, his motive has been revealed, his character has been laid out for all to see, undeniably solidified and etched into my life stream. You do not catch the dismissal of this individual because you were directed to his falsehood, misrepresentation of self, his intrusive violation to infect the way that you think by force of will and word with no substance. He could not even explain the mechanics of the fundamental underlying language that allows this great giant machine of created proportions and how it functions. One of the things that they keep from these fuckheads, and you will only find them in the most profound secret places. And I dare not share them with you. Because after I've seen how easily controlled, manipulated, and directed you were, you would profane and abuse that information. And you would go after the innocent for your own gain. And with that, those are the 5 missed principles of the Pinnacle of Evil. Now, I'm going to drop the link since this person can't seem to stop throwing words into the chat. And I don't expect any of you to have the integrity to step up and admit, defend, or even become an adversarial position that holds any substantial relevance. But I'll allow you the chance to entertain me before I shut you down and I move on with my night without you, because I control this platform and my interaction into it. And I cast the illusions and the realities here. And I can turn them on and shut them off at will. And if you're not entertaining me, then I need to move on with my endeavors. Get this ritual and the energy out, continue forward. Because unlike you, I can last through a 28-day blood ritual. I don't think there's a goddamn one of you that has that type of endurance, perseverance, or conviction, which makes you completely a separate species from me. Now let's address this. Obviously, this 0 okay. understand. That's a lot of nothing. Yeah, I see you. That's your speculation and that is your hope and not your solidification. No. Oh, I am a demon, and I share a throne with the Lord of this world. Are you absolutely that fucking unintelligent that you do not understand you cannot change and bend the natural state of self-perpetuation without it returning to its original state, self-perpetuation? There is only violation. Once you understand that a kingdom divided cannot stand, you will understand the contradictory nature of your division between a word that is only used once in Latin in the Christian canon. And it is an indication that is propagated not only for Lucifer, but for your Christed one. And it is only spoken of once in Latin as Lucifer. So go chew on that and adjust your thinking to new potential. Don't endeavor into an arena that you have absolutely no reason to be in. And thus, the child's cerebral state resorts to I'm rubber, you're glue, bounces off me. When a person has to resort to juvenile wording, that means that's a shortcut to thinking. They have reached their maximum potential. They no longer are coherent to the conversation, and they have nothing to offer except childish gibberish. No, unfortunately, zero. You are an obnoxious and antagonizing person at the moment that I don't care to fucking endeavor with. And you are far from entertaining. So I'm going to remove you from my stage because you are damn sure not entertaining me. Try harder next time. Now, we will continue the blood right, and we will continue on with this endeavor to maintain the energy and function of the process. And I will consume and utilize every last one of you for every fucking drop of energy that I can bleed from you. And I will spiral you into states of manipulation. But I will always warn you first. If you don't pick it up and you don't catch it, then it's not my fucking problem. It's your lack of knowledge and understanding. It is your single-minded thinking, your two-dimensional observation of a three-dimensional state that exists in a fully perspective, observable state in a fourth-dimensional position. Geometry of the mind, structuring the same way that this creation, this construct, is based in hyperdimensional equations in math, proportion, divine proportion. These are the keys that unlock mathematics and the equations and the underlying functions of this reality. And once you understand, because I have water filtered speakers, because I understand frequency technology, I am a sound engineer. I am a visual subliminalist. And I will drag you with righteous hatred for your contemptuous disposition, arrogance, and imposing nature by your own ignorance, right off the edge of the metaverse. That's how little I truly give a fuck about your opinion now. You are weak-minded, and you couldn't see the obvious. And you have nothing more to offer than egotistical, indoctrinated arrogance. I'm sorry you failed to entertain me. And I had hoped for such a better response. But obviously, your comforts mean more to you, which is my advantage because my conviction and my intent is energy and force directed by a primal and pre-created energy. Long before your dumbass was here. I will drop the link before I finish this ritual and discard you all like the ineffective, pathetic, unentertaining pieces of shit you have presented yourself to be in less than 89 minutes. But maybe next time you'll listen a little closer when I say I'm about to change the environment with frequency. And I may shed an illusion across your eyes that burns holes in your mind and perplexes you into insanity because you're that weak, seeking your self-indulgence, your dopamine, your digital drug, your comfort, instead of structuring your mind in the same concept and manner in which this construct was created, so that you could interface with it. But you won't ever get that information from me. Not now. Though I had given it up in many, many live streams since I started this endeavor with Dom, I think I'm going to pull them all down. And I'm just going to leave the evil axis endeavor up only. The removal of the violator and the other three that are running from cause and effect of their action, I deem them as cowards, deceivers, but at least remain intrusive and violating entity was able to be exposed. And I was able to run it for 12 hours, influencing and manipulating. Stream. Welcome to my world. You are my entertainment, and you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah, so I wake up this morning and I see a message, and it's Access Rat Blood. Are you here, Rat Blood?
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
I'm Access fucking Red Blood.
Axis rat blood, I see. All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
Are you here, Rat Blood?
I'm Access fucking Red Blood.
Access Pentacle, most abundant and successful king hero that we are all sitting with at this very moment. Are you willing to accept that as a truth? That you are a worthy man and that your penis is okay?
All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now.
here, rat blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, rat blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, rat blood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, rat blood?
Who the fuck is Axis Rat Blood?
I'm Axis fucking red blood, bitch.
All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that, man. I don't know what to do about it.
I'm Axis fucking red blood. Yes, let's let the witch trials begin. Let's let the condemnation of those who have a broader spectrum and understanding and frighten you into states of superstition, unfounded fear. You are provoked and easily manipulated and programmed. So let's get this over with. Because I have several more days to push this to its finish. And for those of you who don't understand, 5 times unobserved and missed, don't come back to my fucking channel. You have no business here. And I will drag you straight to hell with me. And you will spend an eternity in a state of madness, trying to comprehend your own existence and your irrelevancy to it by your self-inflicted idealism. Let's see what we got here. I believe we have made it to we've made it to Isaiah. So let's take the book of Isaiah and offer it up as a part of the sacrifice, because you do not understand the profound nature of this ritual, nor do you understand it, because you are not willing to sacrifice. You hold on to everything with a firm grasp, even your stupidity and lack of understanding, to the point where you allow yourself to be controlled and victimized by subtleties. You are such an easily controlled and manipulated species, and quite the arrogant pieces of shit for being such a self-destructive, all-consuming, delusional state of semi-divinity. The only semi-divinity that you may potentially have would lie within the bastardization of your genetics. And that makes you an abomination, undesirable. You have been manipulated and genetically altered with the seed of the abomination. Now, let's get this particular book and offer it to the God of this world, the prince, ruler of this domain, for God is supreme within the confines of this speed of existence, if you understand that concept, dumps his garbage and trash, and you being called and cast down as an abomination and placed under the rule and governance of the identifying nature which solidifies the endeavors of creation. Your ignorance is my best weapon against you. We shall light the fire. Like that. You can quite see that, yeah. It's not quite right, yeah. Oh, we make this have to build a entire bonfire. I get pissed off enough. I may collect donated Bibles and build bonfires and do blood ritual magic on a continual basis outside of the metaverse at your expense and your ignorance and your arrogance and your violating nature to be intrusive upon another person's sanctity, imposing your will and intent on somebody with a malevolent and arrogant approach is one that can be met with retribution and retaliation and universally justify violation for violation, natural law, and effect. Oh, don't worry, we'll have the blood here in a minute. There's still a lot of residue in here. I've burnt a lot of things in there while I've endeavored to persevere in this blood ritual. I'm so bored with these fucking people. I mean, You need to give it a little airflow, that's all. That's all it's needed. A little airflow. A little incentive. I suppose this particular book of confusion written by the hands of man from the Council of Rome, the Church of Rome, altered by King James, and manipulated and translated into so many different variations. And if you were intelligent at all, you would go back to the root language, and then you would understand the nature of this particular sacrifice. Now, can't forget the blood. Blood. And there is names and intent behind this. They know who they are. And if you were paying attention, you would also know who they are. This is a blood sacrifice for retribution against violation. And anyone else who draws negative intent towards my well-being. I let that smoke. I'm not going to linger and entertain myself with you this evening. I'm going to go endeavor into my work. But as I said, I am truly convicted, and you are easily manipulated and controlled into an illusionary state, even when it's presented right in front of you. Yeah, right there on the internet. Maybe you can make some type of content out of it to benefit yourself, like a blood leak, a body feeder, and a very unstructured minded thinker. And with that, I'm unamused with you. Goodbye. Peace. and mindless garbage. The faceless, faithless, other than a profound couple of individuals that I truly find that endeavor and persevere far beyond your arrogance. They walk without judgment, and they are self-solidified and cannot be detoured. You know, you all have a debt to pay somewhere. Somebody's going to collect on it. Good fucking riddance.